So you decided to have, or you're considering having your child here in China, and you're wondering just how much that process would cost you, from prenatals to delivery and postnatals. Then you are in the right place. In this video today, I am going to be telling you guys how much you should budget, or how much you should expect to spend if you are going to have a child here in China. Hi guys, welcome back again to the channel. If you are new here, you're welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you're returning to the channel, what's good, fam? I hope you guys are good. I hope you guys are well and staying safe. Today's video is a question that I've gotten over and over again, and because of my busy schedule, I've not really had time to just sit down and talk about it. So today I decided to just do a quick video to put the information out there for those of you who need to know. I'm going to be talking about how much we spent having our baby here in China. For context, or in case you're new on the channel, I have a 1-year-old now. I had my baby in China in 2021, and I documented my pregnancy journey, my delivery, how everything went. It's a whole playlist on my channel called Giving Birth in China. All you need to know, right? But I didn't really talk about how much we spent, although I hinted that we spent quite an amount of money, but I didn't give you guys an estimate. So a lot of people have asked me, both in the comments of previous videos and in my inbox as well, like, how much do you guys spend, how much should I budget, and things like that. I'm just going to state, for starters, the money you're going to spend giving birth in China will be different depending on the type of pregnancy that you had. If you had an easy pregnancy, without much complications, just the normal prenatals, checkups, scan, all of that, and someone who maybe had a medium or a high-risk pregnancy, I know for some people, maybe because of weight issues or blood pressure or just some certain underlying illnesses that you might have, it might cause you to do more tests or more scans, and those are going to increase the amount of money you're going to spend. So for me, during the time that we did during the pregnancy, I carried out a couple of scans. I think at 3 months, 6 months, I can't remember the months right now, but I know we did a couple of scans. It was up to 4 or 5 or 6 even. Because towards the end of the pregnancy, it becomes more frequent, right? You have to budget money for those scans. I can't remember, honestly, I can't remember the figures that we took, but I know that for every time I had to do like an ultrasound, is it that? Yeah, that's what it's called, I think. An ultrasound, I would pay somewhere around 700 RMB. Yeah, about 700 RMB thereabouts to get an ultrasound done, but I didn't have to do them all the time, thankfully. What I did more often was like the blood test, urine test. I had to do those ones a whole lot, and those ones don't also cost a whole lot of money, just somewhere between 100 or 200 RMB and things like that. If you calculate seeing the doctor, you have to get like the paper for seeing the doctor. That's about 12 kwai, and then you go in and then you maybe do blood tests or urine tests and things like that. They'll check your blood pressure, they'll check your weight and things like that. You just pay a little amount of money, okay, every time you go to the hospital. Now if I were to give an amount, a particular amount, to how much I spent in all those my hospital visits, I probably put it around 3,000 to 4,000 RMB. That I spent a lot of money, actually, because I remember my husband and I, we were trying to keep record of, how much have we spent, and to the glory of God, I had a very a pretty normal, safe pregnancy. So I didn't have to do, when they checked my sugar, it was okay. I didn't have preeclampsia. I didn't have a lot of things that some other people would have and require to do further tests. So because of that, we didn't spend a whole lot of money like that. I think everything we spent at most 5,000 RMB during the course of the pregnancy. Now, the second money that you should be budgeting is, the money that you will pay when you actually go to put to bed. That is when you reach your due date, right? Now, for people who give birth through CS and people who have vaginal delivery, the money you're going to pay is going to be different, because before I gave birth, I had a friend who gave birth just about a month before me, and she told me that she had a C-section. She actually had a scheduled C-section because her first was also born through C-section. So she had a second baby and she scheduled the C-section ahead of her. It wasn't a sudden C-section that they had to carry out. and she gave birth in Gulo Hospital of Nanjing, which is also where I gave birth. And after she gave birth, I asked her, and she said she paid a total of about 5,000 RMB. She said she paid somewhere around 5, to 7,000 RMB, for giving birth through CS, and that she was told that that money would be different if she gave birth vaginally. Like she said, for vaginal birth, it's around 3,000 RMB. Hi, say hi. But that also didn't also sound like a whole lot of money to me, because when I had researched Google, how much does it cost to give birth in China, I was seeing very ridiculous prices of like 20,000 RMB, 30,000 RMB, and I think they were giving those statistics based on hospitals based in Beijing, and especially international hospitals. Now, this is also another very important point I need to make. Bear in mind that if you decide to give birth in an international hospital that maybe have doctors who can speak English or have foreign doctors and things like that, it's going to be more expensive. There's no two ways about it. You're going to spend a whole lot more. For international hospitals, I hear they charge anything from, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 and above. But if you give birth in a regular general Chinese hospital like I did, I gave birth in Gulo Clinic Hospital, and it's like a very big hospital here in Nanjing, right? But it's government owned. The money you're going to pay is going to be very much lesser, but the thing there is they are not doctors who can speak English. Most times it's only Chinese they use to communicate. So you might, if you have some difficulties understanding Chinese, you might want to go with someone who can translate for you and things like that, because you might have some difficulty communicating with the doctors. But if you can afford it, why not register at an international hospital? When we were admitted into the delivery ward, they made us pay a deposit of 3,000 RMB. Just when we came into the hospital, right? So they told us, oh, this is like for the delivery money. If anything else happens, like if you acquire some more money, we'll let you know at the end, like you pay it when you're leaving the hospital. So we just paid the 3,000 RMB down, and I think 500 RMB for lodging in the hospital. So there's a lodging fee that you pay for staying in the hospital, right? So we paid 500 and 3,000. Now, after giving birth, if you don't know, I had some, should I call it complications? Not really complications, but there were just a little bit of a little turn of events with my pregnancy towards the end. For some reason, they said my antibodies were attacking my baby, and I had to have my baby as soon as possible. So I was brought into the hospital to be induced, right? I was eventually induced to give birth. And after I had my baby, everything was fine, but I did spend about a week. Yeah, I think about 5 or 6 days in the hospital before I gave birth, because they said I had to come in so they'll be monitoring my baby and things like that. And if there is need for it, for them to quickly be able to do a C-section, right? So I was in the hospital for quite some time. And after I gave birth, I also spent a total of 3 days in the hospital before we were discharged to go home. Now, this fortunately increased our bill and the money we were supposed to pay. So at the end of the day, when we were leaving the hospital, we had a bill of approximately 12,000 RMB. That was what we eventually ended up spending, and about 8,000 plus was my bill, the mother's bill, and about 3,000 plus was the baby's bill. So there were 2 different documents, 2 different papers that contained the mother's bill and the baby's bill, right? So they put that together and we paid about 12,000. Now, if you minus the 3,000 we had paid as deposits when we came into the hospital, we had to top up about 9,000 RMB more. That was an unfortunate turn of events, because I was really looking forward to, having a less expensive birth. But because of the time that we spent in the hospital, including the induction processes, it just increased our bill, and so eventually we paid 12,000 RMB to have our child, okay? Now, I feel like that's still not a very crazy amount compared to what I've heard some people spend when they give birth in China. I know someone who said she spends close to 40,000 RMB giving birth in an international hospital in Beijing, and I'm just like, girl, that is a whole lot of money. I'm going to put an equivalent of, what 40,000 RMB is in Naira and maybe in dollars. So if that's what your currency is, you understand how much we are talking about. Let me also just give this advice as a bonus tip. Honestly, if you ask me, there is no special reason why you should want to, go to a fancy international hospital, especially if you cannot afford it. I feel like the local government hospitals just do really good as well. Like, they're really good. I felt like the way they took care of me was very professional. The only con when it comes to the government hospitals is that you won't find people who can speak English. You may not find people who can speak English, and you just have to, put up with their Chinese. Or if you can speak Chinese, then that's even very much better, right? That's basically it concerning how much we spent to give birth to our child in China. I had to quickly whip up this video. This is totally unplanned. I actually just got in from somewhere and I just stood in front of my house. This is like our apartment. This is where we're going from. I just had to sit here and get this information out to you guys, because I know a lot of you are, a lot of you get valid information from my channel that help you. I receive tons of DMs with like, thank you so much for the videos you're putting on YouTube. It's really helping us. Like, for a lot of people, who are having their child here in China. So I hope this answers your question and gives you an idea of how much to expect that you can spend when giving birth here in China. If you enjoyed this video and if you found this video helpful in any way, make sure to give it a massive thumbs up. Also share to people that you think might need it. You never know, you can be helping a soul. And also subscribe to my channel if you're new on the channel. There's a red button that says subscribe, so just click it. It's totally free. If you want to stay in the loop, or if you want to receive more information about giving birth in China and all you need to expect, hospital visits, actual birth, and the facilities, all of that good stuff, then you should check out this playlist that I'm going to leave just after this video. I'm not sure if it's here or here, but the playlist is going to pop up at the end of this video. You can click on it and just get all the information that you need. I wish you guys a safe and smooth pregnancy and delivery journey in China. Thank you so much once again for watching. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye, guys. Guys, I decided to show you the person I spent all that money having. Yeah, I'm just going to put this as an after clip, but yeah, this is my beloved. This is my beloved baby in whom I am well pleased, who I spent over 12,000 RMB to give birth to. Hey, Riri. Say hi, guys.